You're tuned into Capital Jazz TV. I'm your host, Jodine Dorsey, and we are on the 2017 Capital Jazz SuperCruise. And I am so blessed right now, so honored to be sitting next to the Pam Grier. Because I got to say the, T-H-E, all caps.
Or duh. Da Pam Grier.
Right, da Pam.
Oh,
How are you, Pam? How's it going?
I'm more elated than you are to be here. You've done this
man.
many times.
Yes, we have.
This is my first, and I was just thinking about, oh my God, have I missed some really good times? Because I'm always working, and family, charities, other people, but this time it was me time, and I said, I have to go on this cruise. I have to meet, see my friends, Tommy Davidson, Mark Curry, NDRE, Earl Clue. We love, I had to go, and I think most people should find time to do this. This is like a respite. It's entertaining. There's run into people that I knew that I was like, oh my goodness. Out of thousands of people in years, they're here but they go every year, and they said I said, you know what, I miss out. It was always working. Now I have to do this, and it's great because not only is it a entertainment on board, but you have events. And you have swimming and exercise and Zumba and dancing and classes, and so you are constantly involved with activities, and so it's not about being bored. You'll never be bored.
You can't say
you'll
bored.
Never be bored.
You cannot say you're
But the
bored
exercise and the food is awesome. The restaurants, thank you, Norwegian Breakaway, the Norwegian line, fantastic. The accommodations are lovely.
And I'm glad you said you've had a minute to relax, because you've been busy.
I know.
She's one of the hardest working women I know right now.
Yeah. It's caught up with me.
Oh my
God. I thought,
God.
I will get a chance to take care of my mom, take care of my family, and after, I guess, after the book tour, my autobiography, Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts, was published and released 2010. Came on the New York Times bestseller list at 20 and printed several times. But what I realized was this is the chance to go out on the book tour and thank the audience, thank my fans for the 47-year career that I've had, and thank them for, I do thank you, for supporting the film industry as well. Yes. Without the audience, there is no actor.
Absolutely.
Or musician. So it's really important for an actor or musician at some point to get out and thank everyone for that. And it's the inspiration for our kids in college who are aspiring to be filmmakers and sound technicians and cameramen and designers and actors, and keep that inspiration going. And so I'm also the ambassador for Bounce TV, the brownsugar.com streaming service, which they have over 250 movies in their library, and it's a subscription service. I think the first is $9.99 for the first month, and then I think for the rest of I don't know what it is for the year, but I think that's quite reasonable, because you could never have that many movies in your library.
And it's like movies we've never seen
movies
before.
And classic movies of our pop culture.
Right.
You'll see James Earl Jones, Cicely Tyson, Richard Pryor, Eartha Kitt, Godfrey Cambridge, Carl Weathers, all of my movies, Fred Williamson, Jim Kelly, movies, but extraordinary movies that weren't released as like today.
Right.
And they're extraordinary. And I see Oscar performances. I saw Richard Pryor in a war movie, and it was astounding. I had to see it again. And my mom, who the movie Coffee is based on, she was a nurse, and she was always taking care of not only her 3 children, but her aunts, her sister, my aunt, who is Foxy Brown, those 3 children, and the neighborhood.
Of course.
And so when she, fell ill at Christmas, we just sat in bed, and the timing was perfect, because I bought the streaming. I didn't get it free, by the way. I paid for it. And to see the joy in her face watching these movies, and the music, she started finger popping, and she was looking at the clothes and the braids and just it brought back memories. But that's what you do, and you scream, and then some of my friends and family were coming over there, sitting around the bed in the room making noise, like she pop them with the pillow and stuff. Now we have to play it over again. We got to go back because she could, because it's such a global, the effect of pop culture art, Afrocentric, Afro-American art is global.
Exactly.
Did you know that they have in Dublin, Ireland, a 3-day soul fest they have every year in May, and they have soul food, they bring over R&B artists, they have a guitar session to learn how to play R&B and soul food, and people wear bell bottoms and fros
in Ireland.
And Dublin, Ireland.
In Dublin, Ireland. Okay.
It is a soul fest, and I want to go. Average white band, they're Scottish.
Yeah, right.
And they're there, and they bring over other artists from all over the world who love R&B. And when I want to be in that guitar session. I want to, when Larry Graham and one of them go over there and start popping the bass.
Friend of the festival,
because I play keyboards and drums, but I'm starting the guitar, and I'm down at the corral sometimes strumming away, with the 3 chords that I can get my whole fingers.
But she's also a vocalist. See what I'm saying? You also sing.
Yeah, I sang gospel in Denver. I started out with the pipes. In Denver, we were in a group called Echoes of Youth, and it was Philip Bailey, Andrew Woolfolk, and Larry Dunn. That they're part of Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
And there's one thing when you want to really learn and find that musician in you and that singer in you is in a gospel group. And they encourage you. And so I was playing keyboards, Hammond B3, playing organ, drums. And so, and I, along the way, I got to meet, my first job. Coming to Los Angeles, transferring from pre-med at Metro State, working 3 jobs, living in my aunt's garage.
Wow.
The first week, I got to sing background for Bobby Womack. And he said, I know I'm on his I Can Understand It album. Love Bobby, the late Bobby Womack. So he said, Pam, I really, I feel the gospel in you. I said, well, that's kind of how I started.
Right.
And then he says, well, I got a friend who needs some more background singers, and since I'm fresh off the boat, the turnip wagon.
Right.
So I said, sure, because I'm an out-of-state student. I got to save up. I got to get into school, film school. So he says, oh, here's the number. I called him. He wants you to come over and you'll sing it. So you go over to CBS record and studio off of Sunset, and I'm in my raggedy Jeep. I was a poor student. When you're in college, you eat cheese and crackers.
You had a Jeep. That's
but it really was. It was an Army Jeep. It had no floorboards. It was all it was rusted out. And so I go over the next day. And they look at the pass and they look at my Jeep and they're like, are they going to let me on the lot? It was so raggedy.
Right.
I said, I'm a student, but I'm here for Sylvester's session. So they said, okay, go up to that floor. So I go in, going up the elevator, and I meet the manager of the session.
Right.
So he said, let me sign you up. He says, are you a union? I said, no. He says, well, okay, but you'll still get triple time. I went, how much is that? He says, oh, that's going to be $300 an hour. I went, what?
$300 at that time? What?
You were making $40, $50 a week, $40 a week. I said, oh, tuition. Oh, great. It's gas money. So he says, do you know these ladies over here? He says, they're Wonder Love. I went, Wonder Love, Stevie Wonder, Sarita Wright, Lonnie Groves, and Denise Williams.
Wow.
No, I get to sing with them.
Gosh,
oh, my goodness. And it was Minnie Riperton as well. She was also Wonder Love. So
oh, my gosh.
I said no, but I went over to them and they said, hey, girl, I said, I'm from Colorado, I'm a student. I said, well, we need some more singers because we get tired. So I said, okay, so what happens? I've never done this before. And they said, Sly's going to come out and get you when he's ready because he writes. So I said, who is this person? So the man said, well, come over to the window and look in. And it's Sylvester Stewart is Sly of Sly and the Family Stone.
Come on, Pam. Pam, you live like the Forrest Gump life.
I am. How did you said that? That's what Benny Richford, who wrote the screenplay of my movie, said, you Forrest Gump. It's very Forrest Gumpian.
You are so Forrest Gump. Like
I feel like Forrest Gump. Trust me. I wake up and like, who, what, where, how?
What just happened?
And I'm like, oh my! I sold his records in the record store when my college money was lost in the family, and the first job I had was working in a record company. So I was selling James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone,
right.
And I knew it, but it was Sylvester Stewart is his name,
Right,
and I went. Oh. He said, you want to go in and meet him? I went, yeah, I'm trying not to be too country. And I look country. Everybody else had on sharp clothes and dressed like you. I had on some old Levi's, my Timberlands. I had on a fur vest. And
you had on the Denver uniform.
No, I just had what I had was I guess, Salvation Army student. And I went in and met him, and he had this big toothy grin. He had on beige chamois with fringe, and his guitar, he played bass. He says, I'm like,
oh my God.
Oh, I said, I sold your records all the time.
That's amazing.
I am so happy to be here because I'm a student, transfer student, and I really need the money. So thank you. He said, Bobby said you could sing, so I'm gonna hear that. So what I do, so he was so successful that he could create and write on studio time at that time.
Wow.
Today, you have to create your song, organize it, orchestrate it, prepare it before you go in the studio because it's so expensive.
Yep,
but he was so successful, they just let it run. The engineer stayed 24/7.
Wow.
And he would pop and play. And I looked over in the corner, he said, you know my drummer, Buddy Miles? I went,
Buddy Miles.
Buddy Miles.
Right.
He was the drummer. Because he had just started his second, group with Buddy was playing. And I went, well, my mind is going through so many changes. Dun, 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 dun. That's one of the greatest songs. So they said, okay, go out. So I went out and I sat down with Wonder Love, and they were sleeping. They had sung, and they said, I said, well, when do we sing again? It's going to be a long night, Pam. But I said, not for me. I need that money. I don't care. If y'all go home, I'm going to sing every part I have to sing.
So where does that fall into you becoming the, Foxy Brown or the Pam Grier of the movie?
It's the juju. It's Forrest Gumpian again.
That's what I'm like.
But then I go out in the hallway, and out walks Jimi Hendrix and his two singers. They're going to join Sly. I'm like, through. I'm done. So I says, there's something that I have, the alignment of the stars. And I don't know why or how, but it's called being prepared. So when that does happen, you have your chops.
Right.
Being prepared as an actor, the only thing I had for the work when I had done the Roger Corman films for tuition,
Right.
the first thing I said, was, Roger, I've been attacked for the third time. I need to get away and find out who I am, what young woman I am.
You needed to get your
I need to go, and I'm tired of this entitlement of being attacked all the time by the patriarchal society, because now it's the women's movement. And I've been watching on TV, Shirley Chisholm, Barbara Jordan, Gloria Steinem saying, you got to be prepared. You got to, this is what don't be afraid. Be the best woman you can be. And so I had the guidance of my grandfather, Daddy Ray, whose mom the family was from the Underground Railroad, the Black West. And she had a sugar beet farm. She was an entrepreneur in the early 1900s and a hotel for the African Americans and the Asians who worked on the railroad.
Wow.
So they instilled that in me, that adventure seed, to be adventurous. So I said, I got to find out who I am. Wow. And so Roger Corman said, Pam, you're a natural. I said, I can't be fired. My mama said, I can't. You got to, and he had to talk to my mama to say he wasn't going, my mom, he had to ask her, I'm not going to fire her. I want her to read this book about Stanislavski, The Actor Prepares. It's the ultimate neighborhood playhouse, actor studio theory of acting. And I said, I can't be fired. I will let go 3 jobs that I need badly. And if I lose this, I gotta go home.
Right.
Okay, so he said, Pam, you don't have to worry. Just read this. We'll send you to the Philippines. You'll be making $600 a week. $600 a week. I was like, whoo, you make that all year.
Right.
So the dailies came back great. They said, Pam, your preparation and courage will teach you. So your everything you've been doing, you've brought from your narrative of your family.
Right.
Which is great. He says, are there more of you? I said, I'm sure there's thousands, legions of women just waiting to have the opportunity to show. So if I get through the door, the floodgates will be open. And I'm not worried.
That.
So they didn't fire me. My dailies look great. They hired me to do another movie to stay in the Philippines. And I said, okay, I'm really not cool with the cobras and the leeches and they're stuck on my leg and the rice paddies. And I'm really, I'm losing a little weight here.
Right.
I think I'm going to go blind. I'm not, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I'm going to have to go home eventually. Then they offered me a third movie. And I said, oh, I have tuition. I have tuition for the first year.
Nice.
And if I can just get home without being sick and being buried in the jungle somewhere. It's that confidence that one person was Roger, one person in your life that says, like the Talmud says to every blade of grass, grow. Nice. And so I've had many that gave me that opportunity, and I courageously went out there, did the work, learned, did my own makeup, carried equipment through the waterfalls and and I found me.
Nice.
And it gave me even more courage to stay and try to get into film school at UCLA with the money that I made. And I was treated, when I came back, as a crew person. It wasn't male or female, you were just crew. So I was like, oh, gender free. I loved that about the film industry. I said, I'm hooked. I'm okay. So because of my work and not being afraid of guns and, it was a lot of things that would make you like, oh, I'm on the plane out of here, just like, but it was humanity that you can't be a good actor unless you observe humanity.
Right.
And womanhood. And so over in a third world country, over in the jungle, over in the Philippines, coming back to the States, and now I'm ready to go to the next level of acting, like making sure my craft is such that other people can respond to it.
Right.
That I have, because like animals can smell fear, well, so can actors. They can smell when it's not real.
So you have to always kind of be authentically
yourself.
Yeah, and even through a character.
Yeah, and some not every, we don't, like everybody says, who's going to play me?
Right.
And not every actress will be able to go through what I went through being attacked as a child and again at 18. And there's some actresses may not be able to revisit that because of their own personal experiences.
That makes sense.
So most actors, they don't. It's not that they're not working or not wanted. There are parts in movies where they can't revisit that.
Yeah.
But everyone says, "Oh, she ain't working. She must not be any good." No.
Right.
Let's think about this. Not every actor is capable of revisiting something tragic in the movie that happened to them.
And that's the thing about this movie, because for the record, you are working on a movie for your autobiography.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because all of us to kind of be on the lookout for
Foxy, Benny Richburg, who wrote the screenplay, was the showrunner, executive producer of Fresh Prince for 5 years, Martin for 5 years, and the Jamie Foxx Show for 5 years.
Yes.
So he saw the book, Foxy, in Samuel French's The Trade bookstore in Studio City, and he saw it in the window, and he said, "Oh my God!" And they said, "That's the Pam Grier." He pulled the car over, jumped out in the middle of the intersection, ran in the bookstore, and bought an option it that night. And he came out to Colorado for several months in a blizzard, with his dog. And I said, Pam, I saw a mountain lion go across the road. I said, you did? Did you feed him? He says, why you live up here? Among bear, mountain lion. But I said, well, it makes my senses stronger.
Yeah.
It keeps me, alert.
Yeah.
It makes me brave.
Yes.
It keeps me courageous with drinking fresh water from my well.
Nice.
Knowing, it just does.
Yeah.
You have to observe life to be a good actor.
Yeah.
And so he came out and he several times, and we wrote a fantastic script. And I'm hoping to get Jay Farrell to play Richard Pryor.
I would love to see that.
He's fabulous. I met him on the game. We did this video game called Shaolin Shuffle for Call of Duty for this company. And I'm this sifu. I teach all these killers, my disciples, to kill zombies on roller skates. So
killing zombies on roller skates.
It's Shaolin Shuffle is fantastic. It's a fabulous video game.
Okay.
And Jay was there, doing his part, and when we had lunch together, he probably thought I was like scoping him. I said, no. I called Benny. Went outside. I said, Benny, I think we found our Richard Pryor. He's got the body. He's got the face. He's got the energy. So they've met, and I think they've come to the determination like he can win an Oscar. This is going to be a big role for Jay.
I cannot wait to see this autobiography.
Well, can you imagine who's going to play not only Richard Pryor, but Freddie Prinze,
who's going to
Tamara Dobson, who's going to play she's my pal who taught me, makeup and go out and buy Louis Vuitton and walk down Rodeo Drive with our fly self, and play Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Federico Fellini. I was shooting a film in Italy, and I was the American action movie. I was the big star. I said, not really. When I go home, it's like I'm mama's daughter.
Right.
But I was there, and my horse spooked, and it ran through Fellini's set. My black stallion that I was riding with a stunt horse.
Has a horse.
And it rode through his set of Armacord, where we went right through the ocean liner, through the water. And he goes, oh, my fantasy has come true. I had on a big fro and a leopard skin on a black stallion. And I said, I'm going to be deported. I done ruined this man's movie. I know it. And I thought for sure. And I was so scared when they came over to the set looking for me. I was like, oh, please don't kick me out of the country. So he says, no, I want to have lunch with you. You're the big American. Come on. And the art director says, but we just had lunch. Right. She can't go. But Italian lunches are 3 hours.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to eat.
Yeah, and so we talked. He says, if you teach me how to make a fried chicken, I will teach you how to make a red sauce and white sauce. I said, you like Italian food? I said, I love Italian food. So that's how we became friends. We went in the kitchen, nice. And I said, he didn't have chicken, he had squab. So after I make breaded and I do a double dip, he's eating a chicken wing like this.
But that's another thing about Pam is that you're into food, you're into gardening, you're into organic food and healthy living. I mean, there's nothing actually, since we've been talking during the cruise, I don't think there's anything that I've thrown at you that you haven't been active about or been passionate about or know a lot about.
Well, I study. I'm a student. I have a PhD from Maryland University, Eastern Shore in Humanities from writing, political studies for women, and I have an honorary a doctorate from Langston University regarding agricultural science for the teacher, because I want to continue learning. I have this thirst for it, and then when you can't afford it, it's horrible. You feel you're not going to be a part of the fabric of the universe. But when you go out on your own and say, okay, I'm going to learn, I'm going to explore, then you have something to bring not only to your relationship, but to your children, your community to share. And it helps me to be able to be, confident in charity for HIV/AIDS, Dining Out for Life, sponsored by Subaru every year, every April for one day. We have restaurants, 3,000 restaurants across the country and Canada that give 25% of their take to every local HIV/AIDS organization. Wow. And then Pilots and Paws, we airlift 10,000 animals every year out of shelters, and we and the backyard breeders and the puppy mills to forever homes and foster care. Right. And we're working with the Humane Society and ASPCA so that the foster organizations go in to the shelters, and because the shelters no longer kill for space, they call a foster, and they come and get them because we need dogs trained for PTSD. We need service dogs.
Yeah.
For epilepsy response, sight impair, hearing impair, companion, and there's a wait list over 200,000 people waiting for service dogs.
Wow. Wow. Well, Pam, I know you've got to run. You've got another program tonight.
No, I don't. I'm just going to go stay here and then go eat and drink. But I just wanted to just share with you things that I do, not only with work, but things that fill my soul with joy.
Yeah.
And that's being to give, to share, to service. And share, we're on this planet for so long, and I've been given so much, and I want to leave it. I want to leave it here with people to say, I've made a difference in someone's life.
Yeah, yeah.
Animal or person. Or shoes. Shoes. Look at those shoes. I'm gonna get some of those shoes. I'm going to Brooklyn.
You got to go to Brooklyn. Peace and Riot Indiglo. You got to go to Brooklyn. My
series that I'm doing is going to be shooting in New York.
Oh, okay.
Which I can't talk about yet, but they're going to announce it.
Oh, I cannot wait. So
I know you're going to be calling me like,
I'm tracking you
okay,
down.
come on, we're going to have to do another interview. Yes. Did you know? Why didn't you tell me? I couldn't tell you.
Yes, I can't wait because she won't tell us here on the cruise.
I can't even let anyone into my room, my statement, because I have scripts and information all over.
Oh my gosh!
And I can't have people look at it.
I can't wait.
Well,
we'll announce it here on Capital Jazz TV.
I'm gonna be so tired. Sure. I'm gonna be old. It's like
don't even claim it. Don't you claim that, Pam?
I claim old. Well, I'm 68. I'm 68.
Right,
I'm old.
But you ain't old.
I've been around for 300 years. I'm starting to feel it now, and all the stunts that I did without a stunt bra. Right. I'm starting to feel every.
She does all her own stunts.
Not anymore. Right. I'll jump horses. I'll hang out with my horses. But as far as falling off of buildings and things, I don't do that anymore.
Man, so we can expect online a great announcement coming from Pam Grier. We don't know it yet.
No,
but we can expect it coming soon.
I'm excited about Megan Good doing Foxy Brown for Hulu.
The remake of Foxy Brown, yes.
Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. I told her, she's sent me a lovely letter of what she's going to do, and I said we'll talk when you get it together. But just know that you have to have good stunt people, and it's going to work you. And because society is more complex than when I did it.
Exactly.
So now she's going. I said, "You're going to be working."
And the irony here, which is really interesting, is that we play unsungs.
Yes.
On the ship.
Yeah, I saw it.
And Megan Good's
and she's on it right now.
I was
watching
it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I love how small the world is. Well, remake of Foxy Brown coming up on Hulu.com.
Right.
And then we have an announcement coming from Pam. And then we got the movie that she's working on, her autobiography.
Right.
And then we're going to go to Denver, Colorado and hang out in her garden.
With the horses.
With the horses. Yeah. That's coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Pam, I am so grateful to be here with you.
Well, I hope you get to meet my mom. I hope, she's still around because she has such great narratives to teach.
Yes.
And she has such joy in watching, we already watched like 30 brown sugar movies already.
Right.
And just to see the joy and the laughter and the tears in her eyes and just watching her, because she couldn't afford to see movies. All her money went to her kids.
Right.
So it was just thank you, Brown Sugar. Thank you, Bounce.
Thank you,
It
Brown
has
Sugar.
made my
Streaming
mom
service.
it's just made my mom, it healed her. Laughter we healed. She laughed. She said, "Look at that booty. Look at them pants. Look at them." She was like, it was so, because you don't get to spend a lot of time with your folks.
Yeah.
And that was just wonderful.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Mama Pam.
Mama G. Mama G.
Okay, so you got to show Mom this interview too. So she
yeah.
Loving our Mama Pam here.
And she heard my voice as Mama G on Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah. I did that as well. So.
What? Forrest Gump, what haven't you done?
I know.
That's what we calling Pam right now.
Forstina.
She's Forstina of the SuperCruise. What haven't she done? Well, it was great. We are grateful that
anything to keep from doing the dishes. I just keep.
We are so grateful to have you on the cruise. Thank you so much for just bringing your light on this ship. Thank you so much.
Well, you follow the light. The light was already here. I just followed it.
All right, now we receive that here on the SuperCruise. My name is Jodine Dorsey.
Yeah, it is SuperCruise. All right, I love it. I got to come back.
Of course, we're gonna have her back. We are definitely gonna have her back here on the SuperCruise. This is Pam Grier. I'm your host, Jodine. Thank you so much for tuning in to Capital Jazz TV.
Thank you.